Good morning. It's Sunday, April 12th. I'm up on the rims doing a kind of a shakedown hike, getting my legs in shape. And as I get ready to head down to the Continental Divide Trail, we're going to be leaving Billings on Saturday the 18th, flying down to El Paso, where we will catch a bus over to Lordsburg, and then we'll actually go down to the Mexican border and start hiking north on April 20th. So just wanted to give everybody an update and talk a little bit about my training and some of the challenges I faced over the last month. So I was up doing a training hike somewhere, I think March 6th, 8th, something like that. And you know, over the last few years, I've kind of had some abdominal pain, but I didn't really know what it was. And I just always kind of pushed through it and thought it was kind of bowel issues or whatever. Well, I was up on a training hike on this exact hike, actually. It was about 6.5 miles in, and had to stop and go to the bathroom. And when I did, I had some significant blood and discoloration in my urine. And I was like, oh man. So I called my wife, had her come get me. I was about 6.5 miles into the hike, and zipped down to the same day care, and lo and behold, after a little diagnosis, CT scan, it was determined that I had a 17 millimeter and a 9 millimeter kidney stone in my left kidney. So that put me on a path of kind of craziness over the next month. So I had to disrupt my training significantly. I had the first surgery was on the 19th of March. They went in and were able to break up the stones to some degree, but it got so cloudy that they had to back out. So when I came out, I was informed that they put a stent in between my kidney and my bladder, and that I was going to have a second surgery, which would be scheduled for April 2nd. So here I thought I was going to be done with this first thing and on back to my training, you know, by late March, and found out now I was going to be delayed well into April, knowing that I had a April 20th start date. So to say that the last month's been a bit of chaos is a bit of an understatement. But I scheduled so that for the between the March 2nd, the March 19th and the April 2nd surgery, you know, I had discomfort from the stent, but it was manageable. I walked just a little, but I was just really being careful because I didn't want to irritate my kidney, obviously. Then on April 2nd, the surgery was much shorter, and they were able to get all the stones out. I had to have a stent between my kidney and my bladder again till April 8th, when I was finally able to pull it out, which is interesting, by the way. And so I've been stent-free, stone-free since April 8th. So here we are, the 12th, 4 days later, and I'm doing a probably 10 to 12 mile hike today, and trying to get close to 10 miles in for the next few days before I head down to the border. So the things we deal with as hikers and athletes, you kind of got to roll with it sometimes. And I'm very optimistic that everything's going to be okay, but I think the key is just make sure I'm hydrating, getting a lot of electrolytes, and just really paying attention to my health as I enter in the first couple of weeks. We will be heading north on the 20th. We go down to the border, we catch the shuttle and head down to the border on the 20th, and we'll probably be averaging somewhere between 20 and 25 miles a day as we head north. We're projected to finish, based on our kind of tentative trip plan, September 15th or so. So about 4.5 months. But super excited. I've been planning this since 2024. I was originally going to do this by myself in 24, but had an opportunity to go do an Everest Base Camp hike with my buddy. And so I went and did that instead. Planned on doing it again in 2025. And started visiting with my buddy Jay and said, hey, do you have any interest? And he said, yeah. And he said, but I can't do it in 25 because I got a construction project I'm working on. He said, but next year. But he said next year he wanted to do it in 26. So we both agreed, and we spent 2025 doing training hikes, getting our gear dialed in, making sure that we had everything kind of the way we wanted it, which we had some great hikes last year. So we spent the majority of 2025 doing different hikes. If you go to my channel, you can see some of the things we did. We did a bunch of trails in the Beartooth that we'd never done before. And we kind of concluded this season with a trip over to Washington doing the Wonderland Trail. And wow, what an amazing trip that was. We covered the 93 miles in 6 days. That mountain is just unbelievable. We just really enjoyed that. It's a very challenging hike. It's a lot of up and down. Pretty common to have 4,000 to 5,000 foot vertical days, and not only in the up, but at the down, it just seems like it goes up and down. Anyway, it's a great hike to kind of practice through hiking, doing 6 days. We stashed some food on one of the times, so just kind of similar to what you would do on a through hike. This will be Jay and my first through hike, so we're by no means super experienced at this, but we've done a ton of hiking in our lifetimes, and so we feel like we have the skills to kind of do what needs to be done. So, as far as training, I've kind of focused on two main things, which is just getting a lot of miles in, and also carrying weight. So I've got a 20 pound bag of pellets on with probably 4 pounds of water and a 2.5, 3 pound pack. So I'm, 25, 26, 27 pounds, something like that. And just try to simulate, walking on trails that kind of simulate what we're probably similar to what we'll experience in the desert. And it's hard for me to, get the vertical that we'll see later in the hike at this point without taking the trip to the mountains, but just trying to be steady. The other thing I do outside of walking, I guess you'd call that ruck walking with a pack, is to do a lot of hot yoga, which has been, I think, just a blessing for me in my life. It helps me stretch. It helps me deal with heat. But I think at my age, I'm 62, be 63 in a couple weeks, it's all about staying flexible. And so I think hot yoga has been great. It, works on core strength, flexibility, it kind of checks a lot of boxes. So those are the two things that I've done the most. And so far, I think it's been going well. I think the key here is just, today's the 12th. We're leaving on the 18th, as I'm just going to try to, get 6 to 10 miles in every day and keep my feet moving. And can't wait to get on the trail. Just up here on the rims, just an amazing view today. You can see the Beartooth Mountains off in the distance. Got quite a bit of snow up in there. That'd be the Red Lodge area right over there. But here you got the Yellowstone Valley, which is just amazing, into Billings. So, beautiful spot. So in preparation for this hike, I spent a lot of time over the last 2 years watching other hikers and kind of checking out their system and what they've been doing and things that they were struggling with. And obviously our focus right now is the first 4 days. We've got 84 miles from the border back to Lordsburg, and it seems like the challenges that people are dealing with is, number one, it's a desert environment, so it's very dry and hot, so making sure you stay hydrated. But it seems like the biggest issue that people have is their feet. Just foot issues. So I mean, I watched, I don't know how many, dozens and dozens of videos probably, and just a lot of foot issues. I think the one thing I learned from those videos is, number one, making sure you size up your shoes a little bit because your feet will swell. I'm going with the Topo Traverse. Ordinarily I wear a 10.5, and I'm in an 11.5 now, and that's what I'm wearing right now today, and I feel great. So I think I got that dialed in. But just when you're out there on the hike, you got to really pay attention to those hot spots and don't let your feet get in trouble, because I've seen more people get sidetracked or their through hikes delayed because their feet just blew up. So we're really focused on taking care of our feet. Interestingly, we're kind of starting right in the middle of the bubble. We're starting April 20th, as I mentioned. There's 19 people that'll be starting on the 20th. I'd say the 3 or 4 days before us, there's 10 or 11, 12, something like that. And then it drops off a little bit, and it's in the mid-teens after that. But, there's going to be 60, 70 people within a day or two of us here. So I think we'll probably have a very social experience where we have a lot of people on trail, which I'm looking forward to that. Not only the social experience on trail, but the experiences that you have when you come into town. So probably take more than one shuttle to get us all down there, obviously, and we'll all start heading north, and we'll kind of have our own pace and probably gradually start to spread out. As I mentioned, the first section from the border back to Lordsburg is 84 miles, so we've got that scheduled in our plan to do that in 4 days. So basically we got to average 20 miles a day, and the way we're kind of setting our hikes up is we'll do a little bit more the first 3 days, and then on the fourth day we want a little bit shorter day when we're headed to town, because we want to get into town early because we'll have a lot of chores to do, whether it's laundry, we have to go to the post office and get our food, we got to reorganize our food supply, just things that we have to do when we're in town, recharging our electronics. So we'd like to get into town, noon to 2, something like that. So we have most of the day to get all of our chores done, and then we'll be up and early out. We'll stay in a motel that night, and then we'll be up and early and out the next morning and on to the next section. So that's kind of our game plan at this point. This trail that I'm on kind of winds above Ironwood up here. It's just absolutely beautiful, but kind of looks like New Mexico. So I was thinking of this morning, the Billy Joel song, I'm in a New York state of mind. Well, I'm in a New Mexico state of mind. That's kind of where my head's at right now. So as far as the video, I plan on dropping a YouTube video every day. The first video, as far as day 1, will not be dropped till about the 23rd when we get back to Lordsburg, because we need Wi-Fi in order to upload it to YouTube. And then from that point going forward, with reasonable certainty, there should be daily videos. So like I say, really excited about that. And I encourage everyone to check out the videos, like and subscribe if you would. We really appreciate it. That helps the channel out. And share it with your friends. If you have questions or comments, I'm going to do my best to answer any comment or question that is posted to the site. So we just really look forward to sharing our journey with you guys, and keep your eyes open. I'll have some other videos dropping this week as well. So have a great day.